Let's go. Okay, here's a nice... Oh, boy, you like Swiss?
Love Swiss.
Love Swiss, there you go. Have a taste.
Thank you.
It's Friday. You're watching Cable Pulse 24. I'm Ann Roehmer. Wall Street futures point to a mixed start with new pressures on the tech sector. Nortel posts a big quarterly loss and cuts another 3,000 jobs. Nortel customer Quest is also slashing jobs and its revenue outlook, and Microsoft warns earnings in the current quarter will be lower than analysts expected. Let's go live right now to New York.
Well, good morning. The markets appear determined to open higher so far today, and this despite some negative financial news coming from the largest software company, Microsoft. They had a rare missing their financial forecast. Plus, they say software sales going forward aren't looking that great either, but still the markets are pointing to a higher start to trading today. Now, yesterday, quite a roller coaster ride. We actually saw the Dow dipping 163 points right after the news about that Milan plane crash broke, and it appeared, at least at first, that it could have been terrorism. That turned out not to be true. The Dow rebounded and finished down 15 points. The Nasdaq lost 8. The S&P 500 was down by about 1.5 points yesterday. The talks between Arthur Andersen and the Department of Justice have broken down. Both sides are going ahead. They're taking the case to trial. Now, the two sides have been negotiating for weeks on a settlement regarding the criminal charges against Andersen, and they even appeared close to a deal recently. Reportedly, the talks broke down on how long the prosecution would be delayed if Andersen admitted guilt. And buying a home in the U.S. is still a good deal. Mortgage rates staying under 7% for the second straight week. Freddie Mac says the average 30-year mortgage is now 6.94%. Live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Jane. And we will have Toronto's money news coming up here on Cable Pulse 24. A guilty verdict in the Randall Dooley trial. Marcia and Tony Dooley now face life in prison with no chance of parole for at least 10 years after they were convicted of second-degree murder in the death of the 7-year-old boy.
This verdict is sending a very, very strong message to people who want to beat their children. You can no longer do it in our society. Child abuse is out of the closet. It's no longer hidden. Family members, neighbors, doctors, nurses, everyone is more aware because of this case. And from now on, if you're hitting your children, please stop. Please stop. Go and get some help. We have seen what happened to Randall Dooley. Please stop the abuse of your children. Let's get some help for these poor children. You can't hide it. You're going to be punished if you hit your child.
Justice is served, and I hope they get the maximum of what they're supposed to get.
Millions of people have been devastated by the death of this beautiful child. Many people who knew him, and many people who did not. I feel very saddened for all of you who did not know him, because what sustains me and heals my wounds are my memories of beautiful Randall.
Randall was found dead in his bedroom in September 1998. Over the 3-month trial, the court heard that he was repeatedly abused and beaten. His frail, emaciated body was covered in hundreds of bruises and scars. An autopsy revealed 13 broken ribs, a lacerated liver, and a tooth in his stomach. Medical experts say he died of severe brain injuries. Tony and Marcia Dooley will be sentenced May the 3rd. And women are being warned about a possible serial sexual predator in the Don Mills and Shepherd area. The Toronto police alert follows a knife-point sex attack early yesterday. The victim, a 20-year-old woman, said she was followed by a man into the elevator of an apartment after she got off a TTC bus around 1 a.m. She was forced into a stairwell where the attack took place. 5 other young women have been accosted by a knife-wielding man in that same area since mid-December. The attacker is described as this, in his early 20s, about 5'5", with an average build. He was clean-shaven with a neat appearance and dressed in black. Anyone with information is urged to call police, the Sexual Assault Squad, 416-808-7474. Nortel Network says its plans to eliminate another 3,000 jobs after losing $840 million in the first quarter. In the last year and a half, Nortel has slashed more than 50,000 workers from its payroll. Nortel officials will not speculate about what revenues might start to recover. CEO Frank Dunn says there's no clear prospect of new spending by Nortel's customers. And hey there, the Leafs got off to a perfect start in NHL playoff action last night, dominating the Islanders. Gary Roberts was not in the lineup. Dmitry Yushkevich is still out, and Robert Reichel's wonky knee kept him on the sidelines. Cujo was solid despite letting an early one slip past him. Former Leaf Kenny Johnson got it and gave the Isles the early lead, but the Leafs turned it on in the second and third with Ty Domi getting the game winner, fooling Chris Osgood from a weird angle. The Leafs added an empty netter to seal the victory 3-1.
It was definitely an honor, and like I said, we were all jittery at the start, first period, and we got a veteran bunch. Darcy got us a huge goal, and he's been doing that for us all year. He's been a big part of his team, and he got us going, and luckily our line got the winning goal, and eventually Matt's got the open netter to ice the cake. But that's only one game. We got a lot of work ahead of us.
We were patient. We were down one, and we played a patient game, and eventually we're able to get 2 goals.
Game 2 of the series goes tomorrow afternoon at the ACC. And let's go live right now to Bob Summers in the Chum FM newsroom for the latest on the roads. It's Friday. That's got to be good news. Do you have other good news to tell us, Bob?
Well, thunderstorms that woke a lot of us up are now well off to the east, and we're starting to see a lot of the delays that they caused dissipate in a big way. MTO cameras getting a look at the 401 near the 427. Looks better here. It is still quite slow on the 401 coming in through Mississauga. That is starting to improve. If you're coming in from the east end, still on the busy side, but that too is starting to improve. Bottom end of the 404. Now, this is still slow. Southbound side over here, but still big delays. Southbound on the 404 onto the Don Valley Parkway off and on. You get a little bit of a break southbound here through Winford. Northbound, you can see is still very much on the slow side as you try to work your way up toward Lawrence. We had some early problems down at Don Mills that backed this up big time. Toronto Transportation cameras looking at the Gardner eastbound through Royal York. Busy here, stays busy through to the other side of Dufferin, and actually a little bit slow past that, partly because things are so slow getting off at Spadina. Also still a little bit slow if you're trying to get off, actually much better getting off the Gardner eastbound at Young, York and Bay. So if you're headed that way shortly, may want to keep that in mind. Had some problems eastbound Derry Road near Mavis, also maybe northbound 427 near the 409. OPP checking on that. Ann.
Thanks very much, Bob.
Thank you.
Time for the forecast. Jennifer Valentine has a look ahead to the next 5 days.
I'm at Mayfair West Racket and Fitness this morning, working out a little. A great day to be working outside this afternoon, at least. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Showers ending this morning and becoming sunny this afternoon with a high getting all the way up to 27 degrees. Normal high for this time of year, 13. For tonight, a low getting down to 6 degrees. Cooling off for the weekend. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud with a high reaching 10 degrees. 9 degrees for Sunday with lots of sunshine. For Monday, light rain expected with a high reaching 8 degrees. And for Tuesday, cloudy skies, a 60% chance of a shower on Tuesday with a high reaching 12. And that's your 5-day. Jennifer Valentine, Cable Pulse 24.
Cable Pulse 24 weather, brought to you by 680 News.
To your health next, and the Canadian Cancer Society's annual tracking report has uncovered some very disturbing trends.
And that steady increase has brought the incidence rate, the frequency of lung cancer in young women to be very similar to that amongst young men.
Researchers are puzzled by the fact that when cancer develops in young adults, it is twice as likely to strike women as men. Some categories of cancer are on the rise among 20 to 44-year-olds. In this age group, lung cancer rate for women is up 1.9%. Testicular cancer is up 1.7%. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is up 3.5% in women and 4% in men. Thyroid cancer is up 6.6% in women and 4.2% in men.
By schools, and you see a lot of people smoking, and I've done presentations at some high schools, and they really believe that it's not going to happen to them, and I think that somebody really has to say, yes, it can happen to you.
It's estimated 137,000 Canadians will be diagnosed with cancer this year, and more than 66,000 will die from it. Coming up in world news, the Governor General comforts Canada's wounded soldiers.
They're all in the same room together. All four of us will be next to that, right?